Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for the new moon in Virgo astrology chart. Oh, there we go. September 9th, 2:01 p.m. Eastern time, but times will vary. So this is it. It's going to be the new moon in Virgo. And it's got the new... we have a stellium of planets in Virgo, but they're not conjunct. I don't say this is a conjunction, because it's a way out orb. It's the way outs. I'm hearing the song The Way Outs. But we've got two different conjunctions going on. We've got Pallas and Mercury, and then the new moon conjunction at 17 degrees, and these two are the lower degrees of the chart. But it's, it's Virgo time. And, I always think of, the Northern Hemisphere, I think of fall and going back to school, but now they send those kids back to school so early, it's crazy. And we've had this heat wave, and these poor kids have to be in these non-air-conditioned schools. I feel bad for them. But I digress. Because Virgo just always, to me, that the new moon in Virgo, and when I'm recording this actually on Labor Day weekend, this is when we go back to school. This is when the unofficial, like they say, start of fall. But really, of course, it's the equinox, and I am offering that equinox reading. It's the cardinal ingress. It's always the cardinal ingress of change of seasons. Okay, but back to this. So this new moon, it's trining Pluto. That's the big news here. Now you think, oh, Pluto, oh my God, everybody, oh, Pluto, big bad Pluto, ooh, let's start shaking in our boots because Pluto is involved. Something crazy's gonna go down because Pluto is involved. But that's not always the case, and it also is sextiling Jupiter. So those are both harmonious aspects, trines and sextiles. These are harmonious aspects. And for those of us that have been wanting change, people that have been wanting change, we've gone through this summer of the, or winter, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, there's no need to comment and correct me. I'm just going to talk Northern Hemisphere seasons, okay? You know how to make, to make the adjustment. But this summer of the retrograde, everything is in retrograde, just feels really stalled and delayed, and things, not being able to get off the ground, and now everything is moving forward. And, the new moon trine Pluto could be a beautiful thing. I feel like it could be a really beautiful thing, for transformation, for change. Yeah, pretty much all the personal planets are direct, The darker shaded, these are the retrogrades in September. But the inner ones are all direct now. So, yeah, Pluto is good. It's absolutely good. And you have the blessings from Jupiter coming through, too. So, this could be something really sweet could happen. And we could achieve change, we could achieve growth, we could achieve transformation in an easy way. It doesn't have to be painful and horrible and traumatic, which sometimes Pluto can be. It can be very tumultuous. I'll turn this a little. I want to turn the camera a little, because I don't want to have to keep looking up. I want my pad like that, tablet like that. Okay, yeah. So it doesn't have to be. Change is good. Who wants to stay in stagnation? I think some people do, but I certainly don't. I want to move forward. I want things to change. I want to go with the changes, roll with the changes. As soon as you are able, we're going to roll with the changes. Keep on rolling. And we got to keep on rolling here. And the Jupiter is definitely blessings too. And the Jupiter is in the sign of Scorpio, which is Pluto rules over Scorpio. So there's another connection, another harmonious connection involved there. So it's favorable. It's favorable for change. It's favorable for transformation. It's favorable. With Virgo, though, usually it's going to be, some kind of roll up your sleeves and get busy. Virgo and Capricorn and Scorpio, all of them. It's not like, oh, the fairies are going to fly in and... My life is beautiful all the time. It's not like that. It's like, okay, but opportunities are presented. Virgo's not afraid of hard work, and neither is Capricorn, neither is Scorpio. Like I've said this before. a long time ago I probably told this story, but I'm a Capricorn Sun, as you probably know if you've watched these, and I have Scorpio rising too. But when I bartended in the big clubs back in like in the 80s, I'm talking 1980s, you know, I bartended in some big nightclubs, and and when you work at the big clubs, you don't, you have to share tips, or you know, you work with other bartenders because one person can't handle the whole bar. So you know, you have to split tips, and it can be cool, but it can be not cool. So there's other people. Sometimes you work with people and they don't pull their weight, and you know, you're busting your hind end, and they're not doing anything, and you have to give them half your tips. Whenever I worked with a Virgo, or Virgo mostly, but Scorpio's secondary, I had a great work relationship with it because we would both just be on the ball, you know. And I would walk in, check the schedule. Oh, I'm working with her. Awesome. We're gonna, you know, kick ass tonight. So this is a good harmonious relationship, especially for work, especially for tackling monumental tasks. You know, if you're gonna make some kind of big change, or the goat energy of the Capricorn. Well, it is a sea goat, but you think of the goat. I do, of the climbing of the mountain, and you want to move these mountains. If you have a Capricorn, Scorpio, and Virgo working together, you can move some mountains, you know. They're all going to bust their ass. They're all going to tear into it. They're all going to see it through. They're all going to do it until the job's done, you know. Work until the job is done, you know. That would be another, with the bartending analogy, you know. At the end of the night, there's a lot of work to do. You got to get the cooler stocked. You got to get all the glasses washed, everything wiped down, you know. And sometimes you'd work with people, and their boyfriend would show up, and off they go. You know, they got their money and off they go. It's like, oh, wait a minute, get back here. We've got to, you know, so, but when you work with a Virgo, and, you know, it's like, come on, let's clean this place up and get the hell out of here, you know. So, yeah, there's this get up and go, this, you know, get the job done, bust your ass till it's done, you know, kind of energy. So just because Jupiter's involved and Pluto's involved, it's not, in these signs in particular, it's not necessarily going to be some magic wand is waved and everything is done. It's opportunity, you know. It's like, here's an opportunity, you want it or not. But by the same token, you know, when you're working on stuff that you love, you know, it doesn't seem like work. Hours can fly by, you know, and you know, sometimes I'll be doing, like I've been doing these astrology art things. I'm really digging those right now, and yeah, I've been working until the wee hours in the night, and my eyes hurt in their sockets, but I want to keep going. I'm pushing myself like too much, but my physical body can't tolerate it anymore. But I'm so excited about it. I want to keep working on it. So anything, and Scorpio too, Pluto and Scorpio energy is something that you're passionate about. You know, so if you're passionate about something, you could have a lot of energy to do it. You could have people show up to help. You know. Jupiter, you could have lucky. It could what might seem like luck, you know, but really it's the result of. Well, it could be a result of many things, but you know, it's almost like it's the result of your hard work and determination with the Virgo energy, but also like some sort of karmic reward for past. Because the ruler, Saturn, is the ruler of Capricorn, and Saturn will reward you for past, you know, efforts, for good or for ill. Saturn's not the bad guy. You know, Saturn, I've gotten many blessings from Saturn over the years. And Saturn, the energy, I'm saying Saturn for those of you that don't understand astrology, because it rules Capricorn. So it brings in the Saturn energy. And the energy of the Saturn energy is, see, I did that side note to explain what I was talking about, and I'm lost what I was going to say. Darn it! But it's a reward. It's a reward for good or for ill, and I have had many blessings from it. You know. Oh, it will be long lasting. Things that are established, and this is a new moon, so these are new moon things that are new beginnings. Can be very long lasting and very durable and very sustainable. And very gives you a foundation, you know. So it's positive. This is super positive. Okay, what else is going on down here? We got Venus square Mars. And well, before we get out of this, I want to stick with the Virgo Capricorn energy, because speaking of Saturn, our friend Saturn is right here in the sign of Capricorn, in its own sign, and it's gone direct, or it's going direct. It's going direct just then, on the 6th, like the couple days before. So I have the speeds listed on here. Yeah. See, Saturn's stationed. Let's make it a station. It's just about to move direct, or it just has. It's at 0, so its motion is 0. It's sitting there, you know. Of course, this is all perceptual from the Earth point of view. It's, you know, but anyways, I don't want to get too deep off into that rabbit hole. But anyway, so here's Saturn, gone direct, in its own sign, ready to be powerful again, ready to be strong. And it's trining all this lower degree Mercury stuff, but Virgo stuff, which is Mercury and Pallas. So Mercury and Pallas are both very mental. Well, Mercury rules the mental mind and everything. And Pallas is inventive too, Pallas Athena, and she's a go-getter too, right? These are go-getters, you know. It's time to go be a go-getter, go after what you want. But at any rate, these mental things, like sometimes when it gets out overboard, it can get out of hand. It can be just too much mental, you know, chatter, da 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 da. Saturn, it's like, put on the brakes, calm down, let's make a plan. Saturn can calm that down first of all, and then secondly, utilize those ideas, because sometimes in all that chatter and all that stuff, there is some good ideas happening. So Saturn can take those ideas and make it into a 3D reality, a durable, lasting 3D reality, a viable plan. Saturn is not going to entertain every little thought that comes into your head, like the Mercury thing. And by the way, Mercury rules Virgo too, so it's contributing to, can contribute to that, and the overly detailed stuff, you know. Saturn can kind of be like, slow down, let's make a plan, let's take this one step at a time, let's take these ideas, let's formulate them into a workable plan that's going to be a foundation, that's going to be long-lasting, that's going to be durable. So again, it's very beneficial. Even though Mercury and Saturn are kind of opposite energies, they can work together in harmony. And again, the move the mountains thing, I mean, this is a move the mountains kind of new moon. People can move mountains with this energy. Okay, now there's a Venus square to Mars. You know, in just regular, it's always like, well, yeah, Venus square Mars, we could, there could be, you know, lovers' quarrels and those types of things. Passionate, but squares also make things happen. And especially the squares in these minor planets, like the personal planets here. What I mean by that are the first 5 houses here, the first 6 houses. These are the personal planets. And then we get into the higher, the first 7 planets, and then we get into the higher, or if you look at it this way, like in the ephemeris, you know, this is people always ask when I pull these out, what is this? This is an ephemeris, if you're not familiar. This one happens to be a yearly calendar, but they have them for the whole century. They have all sorts of them. But, you know, these are in order just like you learn in science class, you know. And, you know, it goes like this. These are the personal planets, the inner planets, okay? So the inner planets are personal planets, you know, making a square. This is the prevailing energy, is what I want to tell you. That this is a much stronger vibe than Venus and Mars making a square, you know. But it's still happening, and it's still there. And by the way, if you don't understand astrology, even though it's Scorpio and thing, it's because this is almost 0 Aquarius. The square would actually be the Lilith over here in the South Node. So yeah, this is some of the things that I address in the actually in those equinox readings. I do address this whole thing because it's really tight in there at the time of the ingress. This is one of the main things that we look at, and one of them, and it is squaring Venus exact, or much closer at that time. One of the things that I've been starting to do the ingress readings, and those will be available till the end of September if you want to get one for yourself. But this is about past life and passion that's coming through for people. And it's gonna start up here. We're gonna feel it here, even though this is the prevailing energy, the Virgo Capricorn trine. But this is like a thing that's happening too, and it's gonna be real strong. Also because the 0 Libra will be aspecting it as well. There's some other things too, but this is one of the first things that I address when I'm looking at everybody's chart in those ingress readings. So this is past life. This is passion from a past life. This is, you know, bringing it forward in a powerful way. Well, it's different for everybody with the Lilith, but so that could go, you know, with Venus. The obvious thing is past life, you know, soulmate connection, love thing could show up. You know, that's a real obvious thing that could absolutely happen for people, especially if you have something at the low degrees in the fixed signs, you know, which are Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. So, but also passion is not just sex and not just your lover, okay? Passion is what you're passionate about, you know? So it could be passion, it could be different talents and things that you have brought forward and are going to utilize. Because I think, isn't utilize the key word, or I use? But I like utilize for the Virgo energy. Utilize. You know, this is something that you can utilize now in your current incarnation. And it absolutely, people can show up. You know, people can show up that are going to help you. And help you, hurt you. Mostly help you, I would say. But, you know, it could be some lovers' quarrels, like I said at the onset. You know, that's a thing. Could totally be. I have this open in a different program. It's sort of bouncing around and behaving weirdly. Stop behaving weirdly, weirdo. And then Uranus square the North Node too. That Uranus I talk about too in that thing, yeah. Yeah, there's a T-square with the nodes in Uranus, and that's another thing that I do address in that reading. So unexpected, you know, just for the masses here, it could just be some unexpected stuff shows up, you know. That the nodes, to me, always are aligning you with your calling, you know. Your North Node is, you could call your true north, you know, what you're really meant to be doing with yourself, what path you're meant to be on. And I think the transiting nodes, well, if the transiting nodes hit your chart, it can be an awakening, but the transiting nodes, as it relates to all of us, as to the collective, is just where we're going as the collective, you know. What direction are we going with in the collective? And there could be some, with Uranus there could be some twists and turns. It's not exactly exact yet, but it will be when these guys get down here in the 2-degree range, which is coming up in the fall months here, I think maybe even October. So we'll probably talk about that more when October comes to town. Yeah. Okay, when October comes to town, whatever that means. Yeah, so this is the prevailing energy. This is the big thing, the big strong point or stronghold. And it's the Virgo and the with the Pluto and Capricorn. Besides work, Virgo rules health. So there could be some health things that could be resolved or worked on. Or it's a good time to do any kind of health, start a cleanse, start a workout routine, start some kind of diet, you know, things like that. Also, the Virgo is pets, or 6th house is pets too. So some of you, that might have something to do with your pets, just on a real basic level here. Okay, so that's the reading, you know, but I think for many people, what we've been struggling with all summer with these retrogrades and fighting for, I mean, I just feel like all of a sudden it could just be like the road's open, you know? Like if you've been banging your head up against a roadblock, all of a sudden, oh, the road's open and it's all nice and new and paved and smooth, and things just start really moving along smoothly. You know, because sometimes if the timing's not right, you can work all you want, but you're just not going to get anywhere. You're just banging your head against that wall. So things are going to start moving, because Virgo is also ruled by Mercury again, which is travel, communication, travel, movement, you know. Okay, I want to show you guys a few things, and then we're going to come back and wrap up the chart. Oh, real quick, I pulled up, this is a bi-wheel. So if you order the equinox reading, this is what you get. It'll be limited time. Your chart and then the equinox, and then I go through. And it is a psychic reading, even though it's astrology, but it's a psychic reading for sure. Is this what I wanted to show you? Yeah, I have some new, these are these cool celestial art things. I'm so getting into it. This is a celestial one. This is one I just completed this week. This guy was a lot of Capricorn and Saturn in his chart. And I think I've shown you guys these before. And what it is, it's just different. Your chart is part of the art. And I use different elements that could include planetary symbols, elements of earth, fire, water, fixed, animals, animal totems, which is from Native American astrology. But it will have to do with your sun, rising, and moon, and it's art. I may use the chart only once, I may use it several times, but it's a personalized art for you, and it does work really well as a backsplash on your devices. The astroglyphs, these are cool. A lot of people have been ordering these, and I've had 2 different people who are going to have them tattooed. So I think that's just awesome. It's just so cool. I'm so excited to see the finished tattoos. But that's just something I didn't think of. But it would be awesome, totally personalized tattoo, And this is also the same thing, your sun, rising, and moon. And I don't use every single element or every time, it's just kind of, well, it's aesthetics too, artistic aesthetics, but it's also intuitive, and like what's the strongest thing. And then of course the mandalas that are always available. So if you were interested in any of this stuff, you go on my chart, my site, I always call it my chart. And under the art tab is where you're going to find the intuitive art stuff, okay? The astroglyph or the celestial. Under the readings is where you find all the readings, and that's where you can order the biwheel. This is the Libra Equinox chart if you're interested. I still have also tons of cool teas available. These are these are the ones that have the mandalas with the keywords, and these are, let's just do Virgo. These are every single sun and moon sign that there is. So there's 144. There's 12 and 12. Okay, so if you're a Virgo sun sign with Aries moon, it would look like this, and it has the glyph, and like that. And then over here, I want to look at the Virgo because I think it could be beneficial for us to read off the keywords. Here's the Virgo mandala, or mandala I call it. I just can't jump on the mandala. I don't know why I want to say mandala. I have no idea why or where that comes from. Okay, so here are the keywords that I did use in the Virgo mandala. Sure, crafty, meaning crafty. It could mean crafty, like tricky. Oh, I'm crafty, but they do a lot of crafts. I'm not, because I like to do like crocheting and art, and stuff. And I noticed that a lot of Virgos that I've known do crocheting and different crafty stuff like that. Humble, earth, helpful. I can't even read my own thing here. Is this crazy? I cannot read this. Hold on, I'm going to have to hold it up here. Discriminating, okay, which is totally true. Discriminating. Healer, mutable, practical, smart, useful. Mercury, which is the ruling planet. And there's all kinds of symbols on here. It does not say Virgo sun sign anywhere on it because I think this is more intriguing. So that's the way I do these shirts. But all of that by checking out my website and looking at all the stuff I have for purchase and donating and all that stuff. That's what keeps these readings free every month on YouTube. So please do check it out if you can. So new moon in Virgo. I feel like we can move mountains. And I feel like things that are delayed are going to move forward. We'll have the energy, and the time and the backing. If anybody's looking for backing, this could be cool. Good vibe for that. Having somebody, an investor or a backer, or somebody just back you up. Period. It doesn't have to be about money. Maybe you need somebody to back you up. That's what I was getting like. And they'll be there, That's another thing about the earth signs, too. And particularly these 2 earth signs is, they'll stand with you. They are steadfast. Was that one of the words on that sheet? I don't remember. But, their word is good. If they say they're going to be there, they're going to be there. They'll show up. They're not flighty. They're salt of the earth, They're earth signs. That's what they are. Okay, everybody, so thanks again for tuning in. Have a great holiday weekend if you're watching this during the weekend, and a great month of September. Don't forget to check out the equinox readings, all the stuff I have for sale. And thanks for liking, sharing, commenting. It's all appreciated. Remember, you're love and beauty incarnate. Have a great new moon in Virgo, and I'll speak to you soon.